In this video, we're going to go through how you can use AI to extract structured information from your emails. And the tools we'll be using today are make.com as our automation platform to join the different pieces together. We're going to be using OpenAI ChatGPT. So for that, you're going to need to get an API key from OpenAI. So if you don't have that yet, just go to platforms.openai.com, go to the API key section and generate an API key and bring it back into make.com. Beyond that, you can use whatever email client you want. I will be using Gmail just because that's what I use. And with that, let's get started. So the first thing to cover is why would we even build something like this? So there's a lot of different use cases. For example, maybe your business or your customer's business is in real estate and they get a lot of emails around different property listings and they need to extract it and put it into a spreadsheet. So that could be one use case. Another more personal use case might be you get a lot of receipts or invoices and you just want to extract the amounts and all that sort of stuff for expense purposes. So lots of different use cases here. This is very much a fundamental skill or fundamental building block that you can deploy wherever you see fit. So to begin with, what I'm going to do is actually go to ChatGPT and generate a test email that we're going to use in our tutorial. So I'm just going to say, generate a test email about a new property listing in a suburb in Sydney, Australia. So this is pretty good, but we're going to ask it to fill in the placeholders. Okay, nice. This is looking good. Okay, awesome. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send myself an email. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to send myself an email. Copy this email and I'm going to email it to myself now. I'm doing it off screen. So I'm just copying all the pieces over exactly as ChatGPT has generated. So I've sent that to myself. Now we can go into make.com and build our automation. So the first step is to pull in this email. So for this one, we're going to use the Gmail module. Usually you would use a watch or you would use a search. So we've dragged in the Gmail module. We're just going to search for the email I just sent myself. So usually you'd probably make this a bit broader, but just for this example, I'm just going to copy over the exact piece that I just sent myself. Then let's see if this even runs first. So run lists. Okay. All emails. Let's run. Yep. So it looks like it's pulled in the email that I sent myself that ChatGPT generated. Cool. So now that we've got the email, the next step is the extraction of the structured data. So first we need to define the schema or what fields of data we actually want to extract from our email. So maybe let's go back here and have a look, right? So maybe we want to extract the address, price, type, bedrooms. Maybe we just extract all of these as a starting point. And potentially, if we want to be fancy, we can break this up, right? We have street address, suburb, and country. And then we'll also do the inspection date and time. Cool. So let's do that. So what I'm going to do now is actually create a spreadsheet where we'll be saving all of our data. So let me just drag this in here. And then I'm going to call this real estate example. Then let's put in all the columns that we just talked about. So it'll be, let's do street address, suburb, country, price, bedrooms, bathrooms. See what else there is. Parking, land size. And then what else did we want? We wanted probably capture the real estate agency as well while we're at it. And then what else did we have? Inspection date. Cool. So let's start with these. So what we'll want to do is go back into make.com. We've got the email now. What we need to do is pass it into ChatGPT. So for this, I'm going to use GPT-4o. You can play around with the other models to see if you can do it on a cheaper model. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to use GPT-4o. So you select GPT-4o, and what we're going to do is make a system prompt that says, you will be provided with a email. Please extract the following fields as JSON, and just paste in the different things that we want it to extract. Oops. You will be provided an email. Please extract the following fields in a JSON object. So let's do this. All right. So, and then where a field is unavailable, then return empty. And then usually what I do is I like to wrap this to make it look a bit more like JSON. So I like to actually make this look more like JSON. Let's not do it ourselves. Let's get ChatGPT to do it. Turn this into a type definition. Nice. So that's looking good. Let's copy this across. This is looking good to me. And then as our user message, we're going to pass in the user email. So we're going to pass in the HTML content. Cool. And then as the output, let's put 1000, just because this could be a bit longer than usual. And finally, what you want to do is go into advanced settings and press the JSON object format, which is what we want. Awesome. Cool. So now let's run through and see what we get as our output. So it doesn't like to respond with all the emails. Let's run through. Cool. So we've got the output now. You can see it's pulled out all the data that we want. And it seems like it's done a pretty good job. So is this the right inspection date? Is it 2024-0601? Is that right? Let's have a look. Text content. It's June 1. Cool. We don't have the time there, but I think that is more because of my definition. Anyway, let's just go with the date for now. And we've got that extracted. So what we need to do now is turn this JSON object result into something that we can use in make.com and refer to as variables. So what we need to use now is the JSON parse module. And what we need to do here is copy over what our object looks like. And then we're going to add it in as a new data structure. So generate. So that's all looking good to me. Press save. Then the JSON string will be the output of ChatGPT. So let's run through that again from the beginning. Yeah, it's annoying because every time you run through it, because this is a watch email. So every time you run through it, it won't pick up the same email again unless you go in and reset it. In reality, this won't be a problem. It's more just when you're building. Cool. So you can see we've now got all the different pieces of data in a structured format as variables within make.com. So if you think about how far we've come from just this text email back here, which is all this stuff. And now we've got all the data that we want in these variables. So now the final step is just to write it into the Google Sheet. So to do that, all you need to do is type in sheet, Google Sheet, and we want to add a row is what we want to do. add a row. And so I've got mine connected. Let me just make sure I've got the right spreadsheet connected. And then we're going to select sheet 1. It contains headers and it's pulled in the headers now. And what I'm going to do is just map each of the variables across, right? Price, bedrooms, bathrooms, parking, land size, real estate agency, and inspection day. Awesome. So that's all we want. And then we're going to press OK. So then now if I run through it again, I'm probably going to have to reset the Gmail again, but that's fine. So I'm going to reset it. So let's run through. And then maybe let's wait here. There we go. Now we have data. The country doesn't seem to have come through. Let me check what has happened. Country is country. There's no country being called. Let's have a look here. The output here is, oh, there's no country. Is that just because it's not in the email? Might be why. Yeah, it's in a suburb. So in that case, you might do something like if country is not explicitly provided, then guess based and the rest the address. Cool. So maybe let's run through it again and see if it works this time. So I have to do that again and then run. And then if we go back here, see what it looks like. Awesome. So now it's guessed Australia. So you can see how powerful this is, right? Like some real estate agencies or some property managers might be receiving hundreds of emails every day and they have to manually input it, or they just don't have the process right now because it's too time consuming. But something like this can automate it, and then they can have a good view of all the properties on market at any point in time. And that's just a real estate example, right? You can apply this to so many different industries, especially if there are lots of listings or lots of emails coming in. And like I said at the beginning, it doesn't have to be that, right? It could even just be for your own expenses. Maybe you just want all receipts and invoices to be turned into structured data and put in a Google Sheet so you can sort of review your own spending every month, right? This is very much a building block that you can use in lots of different builds. But yeah, that's the basics of extracting structured data from emails. In this tutorial, we focus on text content. I know emails sometimes will have attachments and images and that sort of stuff. This flow won't capture that sort of stuff. I'm going to leave an open question to everyone here. If you needed to extract images and attachments from emails as well into structured data like this, how would you do it? All right, I'm going to leave that as an open challenge. Comment below what you think the best approach is, and I'll pick a response and make a video if anyone answers it correctly. But yeah, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please give this video a thumbs up and give my channel a subscribe. I make lots of tutorials like this on AI automation. But with that, I'll see you in the next video.